Ladies and gentlemen, my name is Allison Cruz, and I'd like to welcome you to Professor Layton in the Curious Village. This is probably one of my more favorite DS titles, and a game that a lot of you guys may have heard about at one point, but have never actually played, and that's why we're here today. Now, because this is such a puzzle-driven game, I'll give you a chance to solve it yourself, but ultimately, I'll do my best in solving all of the puzzles and 100%ing this game. So let's go ahead and get started, shall we? By spelling out our name on the touchpad. So I am playing this on my DS, just in case you had any doubts about that. We can go lowercase, and this actually picks it up fairly decently, despite my really bad handwriting. So there we go, spell my name, and that is what's going to happen. So with that being said, to my dear friend Allison.
The things we saw that day in the village became a secret we would have to keep from everyone for the rest of our lives. Because, you see... I don't understand, Professor. Why are we going to help solve an inheritance dispute?
Luke, my boy, do you really think I would take on such an ordinary request as that? Oh no, this is an altogether unique and exciting situation, and it has piqued my intellectual curiosity. But I suppose it would be best to explain the case before we arrive at our destination. 2 months ago, Baron Augustus Reinhold passed away. Shortly after his death, his will was disclosed. The contents of it were fascinating, to say the least. The Reinhold family treasure, the golden apple, is hidden somewhere within this village. To whomever successfully locates this treasure, I offer the whole of my estate. Naturally, those who attended the reading of the will immediately set out in search of the golden apple. But in the end, everybody came back empty-handed. It turns out that no one had even heard of such a treasure existing, until its mention in the will.
Wow, that's some puzzle, all right.
Quite. Augustus Reinhold staked his entire fortune just to create one more puzzle before his death. What a perplexing individual. I wish I could have met him while he was still alive.
It certainly sounds like you two would have gotten along, Professor. By the way, just what is this golden apple anyhow?
Some speculate it's a rare antique, while others say it could be a gem, yet its identity remains elusive. But Luke, I can't shake the feeling that this matter is linked to some larger mystery. Something huge.
Aha! Is that your famous intuition acting up again, Professor?
Well, our first step is getting to town.
This is all so exciting. I hope St. Mystere is ready for the famous archaeologist and puzzle-solving detective, Herschel Layton.
Oh, Luke, you know as well as I do that I am no detective. Augustus Reinhold's wife, Lady Dahlia, has asked me to investigate the situation. It seems she came across my name by chance when reading an article about me in the papers.
And you immediately decided to take her up on her request, huh?
Oh, well, Luke, a true gentleman never refuses the request of a beautiful lady.
If you say so, Professor.
We should be nearing the town by now. Look at the map in the envelope and help me with directions.
You got it. What in the... What's this?
Lady Dahlia seems to have given us a test. We'll need to decipher this map in order to find the village. She wants to see if we're capable of cracking the mystery surrounding the Reinhold fortune. Care to give it a go, Luke?
I will do my best. A puzzle like this should be a snap for the apprentice of the great Professor Layton.
Very well then, Luke. I'll leave this one to you. Think of it as a warm-up for things to come.
A warm-up indeed. Ladies and gentlemen, for our first puzzle, we've got Where's the Town? And this puzzle is worth 10 picarats. Basically, the lower the count, the easier it is. And this is by and away the easiest in this entire game. So, my village is on a road that leads to no other towns. I look forward to seeing you there. So, it's basically pretty self-explanatory. If you see two towns on the same road, it won't be the right one, and so you use your stylus to circle it. It's pretty self-explanatory, but they do kind of walk you through a lot of this. So the easy thing to do is just to kind of like trace the route from the car, but that doesn't really help because it has no bearing on this whatsoever. So if you make too many squigglies, you can clear it, and so just basically look at, you know, towns that share the same road. Like here, these two are off, and then these two right over here, well, sorry, you can't really see my motioning here, but that one is connected to this one right here. And so that's not going to help at all, which leaves the obvious final answer, which leaves us in the upper left corner, and that is the town of St. Austere. That will be, or Mystere, I don't know why I said austere.
Well, here's my guess.
With that, there it is. All right, very nice. So we solved our first puzzle.
Apprentice saves the day.
Yes, you did, Luke. Good job. I'm doing some boob gropes for you. That's correct. The only town that isn't connected by roads to another town is the one in the upper left area of town. Thank you for being extremely redundant. This game has a shitload of text, so I apologize in advance. Just saying.
There we go. Now we should be able to make our way to the village.
Right you are. We should see it on the horizon any moment now.
Huh? Professor, do you mean to say you already figured out the town's location?
I'm afraid I couldn't help myself. A basic puzzle like that is easy enough to solve with a glance. Anyhow, you'd best gather your things, Luke. We've arrived.
Arrived indeed. Ladies and gentlemen, once again, Professor Layton in the Curious Village. I love this game so much. But are you guys ready to tackle puzzle number 2? I think I am. Interesting. Yes, it is. It appears that the drawbridge is the entrance to the village, obviously. And we're stuck on the outside, darn it. So there's going to be a lot of text kind of like this, where he just kind of is explaining things that are going on off in the distance. And okay, so we have to... I don't know what screen I'm going to show. Basically, the top one is a map overhead, which is completely useless. And then on the bottom screen, we've got where most of the action is going to take place. But they do kind of switch every now and then. Good day, sir. We'd very much like to gain access to the village. Yes, please drop the bridge. Do I look like the sort to go dropping the bridge for a bunch of fancy looking outsiders? Yeah, I don't know. They give these characters very interesting designs and interesting animations at that. But it's like, this guy has no forehead or cranium to speak of whatsoever. It's all gone down to his chin. Alright, so we've got an invitation from Lady Dahlia, and I'd sure love to lower the bridge, but the engine is busted, the hand crank, darn. If only I wasn't a carpenter or an engineer of sorts, I would have been able to figure this out all by myself. All these infernal slots. Well, this is kind of also probably the other easiest in this entire one, so any idea which is the right one? Have you tried the process of elimination, good sir? Because if you have, well, that would have been easy. So, the crank in the slot, this puzzle is worth 15 picarats. And this one is pretty easy to say the least. There's no way to lower the bridge and get across without inserting the crank into the correct slot. So choose the slot that fits the crank shown below. So this basically is also very self-explanatory as well. As long as you just basically take a mirror image of the crank, you can tap it to kind of move and then show, you know, different perspectives of it, which honestly I didn't find helped at all. But I guess if you're one of those three-dimensionally, you know, challenged people, it might kind of help. So, the obvious one here is 1, and we'll go with that. Final answer, we just... So satisfying every time.
Thinking is the key to success.
You got that right, Mr. Layton. So on that third flash, if you notice him smiling, then that means you got it right. And if he's frowning, that means you made a boo-boo. So rotate the crank in its silhouette, shown here in orange, because of course this was also a really super easy one. Nice job. Now drop that bridge, good sir. because you are not smart enough to do this. Mr. Franco. Hold on a sec. I'll let her down. Like, how didn't I think of that before? He's so mad that he couldn't solve it himself. Alright, he doesn't feel right about letting people in the Saint Mystere. But if your Lady Dahlia's guest, I guess it better. Yes, otherwise she will have what's left of your head for dinner. So, we got Puzzle 2 is now in our puzzle index. I'll go over that in a little bit. But basically, you can replay any puzzle you want. So that's always good. So of course they needed a nice little animation, $10,000 down the drain for that little bit. So yes, I wonder what mysteries await us here. Because of course the name of the town totally didn't give that away. So, fantastic. Just be careful not to let your excitement cloud your ability to analyze your surroundings. God, if I can just learn how to read sometimes. But, oh great, now he's gonna teach us, hey Luke, let me show you how to walk. You see this shoe here? You gotta press that so you can go. So basically this game, the bottom screen will have just stills of the background, and you navigate using the shoe button, so that's always fun. So I guess I could probably just show this off and go backwards real fast. And hey, there it goes. It's amazing, Professor. Thanks for teaching me how to walk. I really needed to learn how to do that, especially if I'm aspiring to be your apprentice. So, okay, so we're talking about the trees. That'll be something for later. Now, you'll notice certain things you can analyze in the background, and certain, well, I don't know if we can get those. We might have to talk to this asshole right here real fast before we can unlock the ability to discover things. Oh, hey, what else Sandy did, fellas, you two are. Must be new to Saint Mystere, huh? Now, this guy cracks me up, his name. The name's Stash and Scarfin. Stash and Scarfin. Really? And, okay, now he's gonna teach us about the road. He's got this really prominent mustache, and, ugh. So, we found a hint coin, and we had another nice little Mega Man here. Felt good, didn't it? Yeah, just like my scarf. So, okay, so hint coins basically will give you hints on the puzzles, if you couldn't have guessed at this point. But each puzzle is only limited to 3 hint coins that you can use in order to actually unlock it. In which case, you can skip it and come back to it later in certain cases. But, like he's saying right here, they won't always be in barrels. And also, there's a limited number of them, so there's not enough hint coins to satisfy the hint that you can do for all your things. So we got another one there and another one right here. This is really easy to find, and we're not going to need these, but we can also, I don't think we can go in the end yet, can we? No, don't you think we should? Yeah, okay, thanks. So this game is kind of linear, but at the same time, it's not really that bad. So let's go talk to Miss Ingrid, I do believe. Oh, hello, pleasure to meet you. Do you just greet everybody like that who walks down the street? Strangers, you know, who don't see around town? Alright, every time you solve a puzzle, you earn a set number of picarats. And the more picarats a puzzle is worth, the tougher it'll be. So, they say lovely things happen when you get to picarats. Ooh. So, okay, so we've got a little riddle concerning our hat. That reminded her of something. So, puzzle number 3, strange hats. A very easy puzzle, but something a lot of people might get tripped up on. These 4 top hats are all the same height, but the length of each brim is different. In other words, the hats are equally tall, but vary in width. One of these 4 hats has a brim and height that are the same length. What hat is it? So this is kind of an optical illusion, and like I said, people get tripped up on this because you'd think the narrower hat would be the one that is also taller, but that is simply not the case. But we'll go with A, because that is for sure the right one. I'm pretty sure. I hope so. Okay, there it is. God, that little smile, I love it so much.
Another puzzle solved.
It's like the blue note of freedom in Jordan from Guitar Hero 2, if you guys are familiar with that. Oh, that's right. This is a very famous optical illusion. An optical illusion is a visual phenomenon where your eyes perceive things differently than they actually are. So, what's the world come to when you can't even trust your own eyes? I don't even know, but thank you, voice in my head, for narrating that for everybody. Oh, bravo! I think you've got the hang of this. If you try options, yeah. So, some of these will be fixed answers, but some will change every single time. So, just keep that in mind that this is another one of the ones that doesn't change. So, oh yes, and if you miss your question, then you'll want to be really careful because you'll lose picarats. And so that's not something we're going to want to do. Best of luck to you, I'll be rooting for you too. You don't even know what we're doing here. So we got strange hats is now in our index. And I think that's probably all we'll do for now. because this is still technically the prologue, I think the next puzzle we do will end up being part of Chapter 1. So, let's go and touch the little treasure box here, and we've got very many things here on both the top and bottom screen. So in our journal, you can take a look at some of the journal entries as well as various other things. I'm not going to be reading these, but I will make note of these because maybe you might want to read a little bit more into them, but me, not so much. Not just on video where I'm just going to be droning on. We've got new mysteries here. This is, a little bit of a spoiler, but you can look at some of these things, and I'll talk more about these later as they become more relevant. Here's the puzzle index, and this is where you can replay puzzles if you so desire, just at any point in the game. And it'll tell you the picarats and all that nonsense. So we've only got the 3 unlocked, and last but not least, we've got ourselves a save file, so don't want to be looking at this. Alright, my name is Ellison Cruz, ladies and gentlemen, and I really hope you enjoyed this first episode. The second one will probably be much more exciting, and we'll get more into the deep, gritty mysteries and puzzles that awaits this game. So with that, well, hope this wasn't too much of a train wreck. I'll see you guys in the next part.